Hello again, captains. This is USS Endeavor. Welcome aboard the Khabarovsk. And this is going to be a really high XP game. I wasn't planning on making a video on this, but after I played it, it was just too good not to post. So I'm going to explain the build. We're going to look at the ship. We're going to look at the armor layout, most of the specs, and I'm going to give you my opinion on it. But the game, I believe, will speak for itself when it's done. It's a really exciting game. I hope you guys enjoy it. And the time code was below if you want to skip to the gameplay right now. The commander I'm using is Rumble, which is the Transformer commander from a while back. We also have Mordov and Sims as our inspirations, helping with the DPM and survivability. The base trait for Rumble is pretty cool, and I'll explain more why I used it. It increases the range for my guns, again, because I want to play this more as a cruiser, not as a destroyer, so I like to pester things from range, and you'll understand more about that as we go. I do have Perceptive, which helps give me the closest ship to me, and Unstoppable in the Legendary perk will keep me going even if my engine gets knocked out, which it does quite frequently. Here are the module slots, and you'll notice in the fourth slot we have a purple icon. That is the epic range, and every 50 hits I get a little bit increased range. It starts at 5%, and every 50 hits it goes up 2% to stack for a total of 10% if you do it 5 times. So 250 hits is why this is a pester at range. I am not using smoke. It is an option. I'm using the repair party, so I can't hide. I have to keep moving. This ship is fast, which you'll see, but I am using the heals. I only have 2 of them, and I have my engine speed boost. A lot of people use it for smoke, and it's interchangeable. Just depends on how you want to play this ship. I just like to play it at range and be fast, and I've spec'd into that, and it works out well for me. So the survivability with Sims brings it up to 25,740, which is a lot of health points for a destroyer. No torpedo damage reduction, so don't get hit by torpedoes in this thing. The artillery, 130 millimeter guns. You have 8 of them in 4 turrets, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. The turn time for them is really good, and the DPM is really high. And the fire setting chance is 8%. Sounds low, but you can get quite a bit of fires in this thing. It's just a menace, and the more you hit, the longer the range gets. The torpedoes are really good because the detectability is 0.6 kilometers. You really have no time. If these things are on your doorstep, that's pretty much when you notice them, and they do a pretty significant amount of damage. The range is not very good, and the torpedoes are somewhat slow, but dodging these things is nearly impossible. The maneuverability, like I said, is really fast. Bone stock, it's really good with its maximum speed, and you have a speed boost which increases that. The turning circle radius and the rudder shift time is not the strongest in this ship. It's probably the biggest weakness that frustrates me when I play this ship, but just plan your turns ahead of time. Running into islands can be a problem, but if you pay attention to the map, you should be okay. The concealment also suffers because I'm playing it like a cruiser, not a destroyer. As a destroyer, the concealment sucks. As a cruiser, the concealment's actually pretty good. 7.3 detectability by sea, and firing things from smoke is nice at 2.9, but we're not going to be relying on that because we don't have any smokes to really use unless we borrow it from somebody else, which we won't in this game. Onto the armor, and this is where this ship is so much more unique than any other destroyer. Usually HE is the shell choice to use against destroyers, but against the Khabarovsk, you notice right at the belt line and underneath the 2 forward twin turrets, it's 50 millimeters of armor. That's significant enough to bounce even Yamato shells. Flat broadside Other ships can use AP to pin and detonate. Although you don't have a citadel, it can do a lot more damage. The biggest mistake I see most players make when they're facing a Khabarovsk is that they will only use HE, and if they hit that side plating, it's going to shatter, and you're actually going to do no damage. And this thing already has a healthy health pool as it is, so understanding when to use HE, when to use AP makes all the difference, and that's what makes this a really tanky destroyer. We are on the map Riposte, and we are in a division with USS Rooster in the Burgoyne and Black Horse in the Montana. They spawn with me mid, and again, I am not a good destroyer. I'm a better cruiser, and because my detection is really poor, I can get in there and I can contest the caps. I really want to be the object of everybody's attention. I want people to shoot at me. I have the speed, I am tanky, I can take hits. If I angle right, I could actually bounce some stuff. And the HE, from depending on if it hits my 50mm side plating, won't do any damage. Might cause a fire, but that's about it. That's where the heals come into play. But getting in there, trying to contest the caps is risky, but man, is it fun. So that's my plan. I'm going to head in mid. Try to spot what I can. One advantage that I have is that there are no radar cruisers. In fact, the only cruiser that's in this game on the opposing team is the new Carnot, which does not have radar. It only has hydro, and it's not good up close. So the only thing I really have to worry about spotting me is destroyers, and the rest are battleships. So the layout for the enemy is a little unique. Here I get spotted, and I'm not even in the cap yet. So I know it's a destroyer, and the Shimakaze pops up, and I'm like, he is really far. How is his detection that bad? So we're going to start taking shots. We're going to start angling out. Again, be careful and cognizant of the islands. Guys are trying to shoot him, but they're missing. So I'm out of the cap. I'm slowing down a little bit. Now I'm speeding back up. Again, trying to just make myself a lot harder to hit. Still spotted at this point, but nobody really is shooting at me right now except for the Shimakaze, who finally decides to smoke up. I really wanted to take this guy out, just taking blind shots because he's relatively low and I want to get him off the board. There he is again. And then the destroyer right next to him is the Daring, and he's shooting at me too. So now I'm starting to get a lot more attention. Turning out, I am so close to taking out this Shimakaze, but now I'm down to one turret back here. And I'm a little surprised I haven't seen torpedoes yet from the Shimakaze. I figured that's something that I would have seen by now, but alas, he didn't shoot them at the start. In fact, I don't know how I spotted him so far away. I don't remember seeing him shoot, but we're trying to take him out. This is our last chance right here with these shells, and he's down to nothing. Oh, we get a fire, but the Yamato yanks the kill, taking, I think, the last couple hundred hit points off of him. And there are the torpedoes finally, but they're far too late. So there's the Shimakaze gone. We also lost a destroyer as well, so a 1-for-1. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get into Bravo because Charlie's been capped, and I want to put my attention and focus over there. So while I'm heading that way, I'm going to just take a couple shots at the Yamato. If I could set a fire, that'd be great. But I want to basically get over there, and we do set a fire on the Yamato. I can't remember if he damage con that or not. The Montana is now focusing me, and he takes a shot out at me. So I'm going to try and juke this. I was going to try and get around the island on the left, but I had to dodge those shells. And in doing so, I'm not really set up to get around the island because my turning circle radius is really bad in this ship, and that's the one downside to it. And to make odds worse, the gearing shows up. So I am going to have to bounce into this island, back up, and try and disengage whilst taking shots at the gearing. The Montana really had an opportunity to slap me there, but he didn't, and that is going to come to bite his team on this side because of that. So get away with minimal damage there. The Republic also is not shooting at me. I'm heading back a little bit to my team, and then might as well get into the cap. If I can cap it before I head into Charlie, that would be great. So just giving my division mate a little bit of a will to rebuild there. The Carnot shows up and whacks me a little bit, although it didn't hurt too bad. He did use AP there, so that was the right shell choice because I was flat broadside. So we're gonna head on in. The Daring is in the smoke screen out there, so that's where the Daring is. The Shimikaze is down, and the Gearing is on this side. We're down a ship, and here come Torps. I wasn't really expecting these, but I'm glad I was able to spot them. I can't remember if my teammate has time to dodge those or not, but got them spotted. And here I make a little bit of a mistake. I should have stopped right here to get the cap. Objectives are very, very important in this game mode, and I just blow right through it. So that's my fault. And then we do end up losing our Montana right there. So that was kind of a mistake on my part. We don't get the cap. The cap is left open, and there's that Yamato from earlier. You get spotted, which kind of shocks me and surprises me. So I dumped Torps in desperation. And he can't, I don't think he sees those coming. We lose our second division mate right there. So now I'm all alone. We're down, and here's the Gearing. He pops up. He's challenging me, and I'm like, okay, let's go. And he's low enough that this is going to be GG's for him. And then I look back, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that timing couldn't have worked any better. And down goes the Yamato for a dev strike and a double. So awesome. Carnot again takes another shot and hits me pretty well. But we don't have a Citadel, so it's not devastating damage. Peppering the Carnot because we're spotted and we have the opportunity to do so. There I just pick up the second stack for my range. And as a reminder, that epic mod stacks up to 5 times, and every time you hit one, it adds 2% to your range. So it starts stock at 5%, and then the first stack you're at 7%, and now that I'm at 2, I'm at 9%. So I have 9% extra range, which puts my range at 15.6, which is pretty ridiculous for a destroyer. Having the Rumble Commander and his base perk adding more range to that is why I'm able to get such a long distance, which again makes it feel like a cruiser. But that's the play style that I do the best at, and that's why I set it up this way for the Khabarovsk. I have traded a lot of hit points, but we've made some pretty good plays. Now I'm taking over Charlie Cap, and this time we're going to get it. And so Alpha's been capped, Bravo is being capped, which I can only assume at this point is the Daring that's left. We are up on ships, but they have 2 caps, and we haven't quite gotten C. We will, but this is still no time to rest. We've got to get in there and take out that Daring, or at least challenge him. That is not going to be an easy fight because the Daring has really good DPM. It's got smoke to conceal it. It has hydro to spot me. If I got close enough, at least enough to see my torpedoes, there I'm spotted because my detection is horrendous. So he has plenty of notice knowing that I'm coming in. I have no option here. I have to go. If you notice on the map towards my right there, the last known, that is the Republic. And he basically hasn't moved from that spot the whole game. He's stayed essentially right there. And there he takes a shot at me, and the Daring is now opening up on me. I'm going to do my best to move. The other thing that's really good about the Khabarovsk is that the AP is actually really good, and because the Daring is flat broadside, I decided to test it out, and I'm happy to say I get, better results than I thought I would. I take him out with 1 salvo of the AP, and unfortunately, the Republic finishes me off right as I'm able to take out the Daring, but that's a trade I'm willing to make. It sets our team up the gearing behind me is going to come in and take the cap Bravo. And so that's pretty much all she wrote. 1v4, the Republic is too low on health, and we have a full health gearing that is taking the cap. We're up on score anyway, so this is going to be a win. 3 kills, a devastating strike, a double strike. We did get an assisted cap on Charlie. A lot of hits, some decent fires. 135,000 damage is kind of low for this destroyer. It can do a heck of a lot more, but it's not bad damage. But as you'll see, the XP is phenomenal. It's one of the highest that I've had in this particular ship. So GG's to everybody. That was a lot of fun, and a lot of credits for Legendary. 3,754 XP in the win, top of the leaderboard, and that was just absolutely phenomenal. And I earned almost 300k credits, which is obscene in Legendary. That's a lot. So that's gonna do it for me. I hope you enjoyed that. I sure did. Fair winds and fair seas, captains. I would love a like, share if you don't mind, subscribe, I would appreciate it, and comment below. And if there's a ship that you want me to feature, let me know, and I'll be happy to do it for you. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.